I started playing in my junior year, and I started playing because I had friends on the team, and I just have fun playing it. I'd played it before, so I just thought it'd be fun.
I started playing soccer when I was 5 years old, mostly because my mom made me, because it kept me active and out of the house for a little bit. The reason I stuck with it was probably just because I was the best at it. I've tried other sports like baseball, basketball, and I wasn't very good at those. But soccer kind of stuck with me because I was good at it, essentially.
My goals for this season, I want the team to have a better win-loss record than last year, and maybe go a little further in the tournament.
I hope to this season win a sectional championship, a conference championship, and definitely to beat East. Those are the most important goals for this season, just because it's my last year and I want to be successful. I hope both the boys and girls soccer teams do very well this season.
I think soccer's impacted me by making me a better leader, and I've learned a lot about what it means to be on a team.
Soccer's definitely challenged me. It's made me more mentally strong and mentally tough. It helps me work on my responsibility and time management, as well as leadership skills and being a member of a team. It's all good skills for the future on and off the field.
My feelings on this being my last season, well, since I started so late, I realize it's not a lot of time, so I want to make the most out of this last season before it's just rec leagues.
I'm a little nervous because I want everything to go right, because I know it's my last chance for the season. I want to win everything just because I won't ever have a chance to play with my teammates again, and that's another thing. I'm going to miss my teammates a lot, so I'm working extra hard so that they remember me for next season and set a model for them for future generations.
I am actually starting my 23rd year of teaching, but this year I'm a dean, so if you don't count this year, 22 years of teaching experience. The thing I like the most about being a dean is when I can help teach a kid how to behave so that they can meet the goals, and strategies, help them teach strategies to meet the goals for later in life. I really just want to help kids be successful and make a positive difference in their lives, and I want to help as many students as I can. I guess I don't like it when I find out that any student has a difficult situation that they're dealing with outside of school. That's really hard for me because I want to help and fix everything, and sometimes the things that happen at home sometimes are things that I can't fix for them. So I think when I can't immediately fix a problem, I struggle with that because I just really want to help kids be successful in school. And so the thing I can do, and what I try to stay focused on, is talking to kids about how important attendance is. Being here is the biggest thing, and honestly, the biggest issue that I work with is attendance. So trying to find great reasons for kids to come to school and building relationships with kids and encouraging teachers to build relationships with students so that they want to be here, much like probably the two of you have a relationship with your BNN teachers, and it's one of the reasons you enjoy school. So just trying to make connections like that for kids.
Oh, my full name is Dingo, but I would love to go with Shao, part of Africa. First time coming in America is like last year, 2018, something like June. I have something like 9 months here now. So I moved to Columbus 3 weeks ago from Boston, Massachusetts. I like it because everyone is treating me like a family, and I would love to learn more from here. Oh, I love basketball. To be honest, I heard a lot about Indiana, it's a state for basketball and stuff. I would love to stay for long. Basketball for 3 years now. Usually they use me to play center and sometimes guard. Yeah. Oh, I'm 6'4". There's some stuff that I can't do. Let's see. I get a lot of questions. People ask me and stuff, and I can also play other sports, like soccer. I used to play soccer when I was young, but I started growing tall, so I decided to play basketball. So it's kind of hard for me to go back in soccer. my leg. It's kind of hard like to control the ball. My goal is like just to make it to college first, like playing college ball, and we'll see what's the next.
I've had my condition since 8th grade. My condition has some blanket terms, which is a general description of what it is. It's a category per se, but I don't have a specific name for it at the time being. And that's because I meet a lot of the symptoms of multiple things, and so they can't really diagnose one specific. So my blanket term at the widest level is dysautonomia, which is a condition where your blood pressure and heart rate just don't cooperate with how they should be doing. And then slightly more specific would be pediatric neurocardiogenic vasovagal syncope, which is basically saying, so you have two parts of your nervous system, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And your sympathetic is your fight, flight, or freeze, and your parasympathetic is what calms you down. And so my fight, flight, or freeze, just like anyone else's, is activated all the time. Anytime your heart rate elevates, that's what it is. And then it's my parasympathetic nervous system that is the issue, because anytime my heart rate elevates, someone else's, when it would happen, would calm it down just a bit. And mine, it's like, I got you, boo, and it just turns it way too low, and so I pass out. There's waves. So at the end of my sophomore year last year, it was definitely getting worse. I had 10% attendance. I went to each class about once a week. So that was not great. And at the worst of the worst, I've been passing out 3 or 4 times a day. But then there's times where it's better. This year I've been on all sorts of new treatments, and I still pass out every day, but I don't feel awful. My condition affects my everyday life a whole lot. So there's just the basic of me passing out with zero warning. I never know when it's gonna happen. I know situations, but not the moment that it's gonna happen. And so that just, it's a blockade in my life, because I can never know if I can commit to something. If someone says, like, do you wanna go do such and such? Like, I can say yes, but then an hour beforehand I could pass out and need to get stitches. So that's rough. And then just the side effects of both the condition and the medications I take for it. I love to bake. I'm home a lot because of this condition, and one of the ways that I deal with that and pass the time is baking. And it's funny, I chose something that involves knives and heat and everything that are triggers for me passing out or are dangerous. But as long as I'm careful, it works out. I've just got to be mindful of where I'm at, what I'm using, how I'm going about it. I would say yes, it affects my relationships with other people. Some people are really drawn, like they find it fascinating, and other people are kind of like, that's a big commitment, because if I'm invited somewhere one-on-one, like, they have to know that they could have to call an ambulance while they're out, and that's just stressful for some people. But I have lots of healthy relationships and friends, and I have a very good support group.
I came from Northside Middle School. My freshman year is going really well. Some things I wish I knew before freshman year is that I'll have a lot of classes with people I don't know. Some advantages compared to middle school are that we don't have to walk in lines to get from class to class, and some disadvantages are that I don't have friends in all my classes. Something surprising is how many teachers there are in the whole school, because there weren't that many at Northside.
Before Columbus North, I went to St. Peter's. Something I wish I knew before freshman year is that you can talk to a lot of people and not be scared. Some of the advantages of high school are that all the classes are really easy to talk to the teachers, and there's not much homework. And some disadvantages are that you only get 6 minutes to go from class to class. Something that surprised me about high school is how easy it is to talk to people. This surprised me because I was really scared before high school.
The school I came from was St. Bartholomew Catholic School. I'm enjoying freshman year a lot more than I thought I would be compared to middle school. Some things I wish I knew before freshman year was how big the school is and how many lockers there are. The advantages and disadvantages compared to middle school are the friendships you make and all the sports you can participate in and just getting to know more people. And the disadvantages are probably like the difference in sizes and more people. Something that surprised me about high school was probably, again, how big it was and way more teachers than middle school, which was new for me.
The school I came from was St. Bartholomew. I'm enjoying freshman year because I have a lot more freedom than I did in middle school. Some things I wish I knew are my way around the school and how to get from class to class. The advantages compared to middle school are my lunch period's longer, and the disadvantages are the school's a lot bigger and there's a lot more people, so some classes I don't know anybody. Something that surprised me about high school is in some classes I don't have anybody I know, because in middle school
I started studying Spanish in 7th grade, and then I took it all throughout high school and to college. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've studied. I started teaching right after college, so that was back in 1998. So I've been teaching for 21 years, a long time. What inspired me to teach? I loved learning about the Spanish culture and the people and all the different places to travel to and see. So I spent the summer in Mexico and lived with a family after my junior year of high school, and I just really loved that and wanted to teach after that. How many students do I get? Well, it's usually around 150 students because I have 6 full classes, so it's always a lot. What experiences do I have with the native speakers? I love when the native speakers are in class and they're really just wanting to work on, improving their Spanish for their career one day. We always have native speakers who are working on their writing and their spelling and things like we need to in English. And I just love hearing their personal stories of their experiences. A couple of big projects we do. One of them is the culture fair that we do in the spring. This allows the students to really focus in on one country and look at some different aspects of it, like foods that they eat and things like that. And so that's a big project we work on. We also will do units where we watch a movie and we learn about the history of some violence in some of those countries. Like we learn how the people overcame certain difficulties. What are my strengths in teaching and weaknesses? Strengths, I really try to present the information in a lot of different ways. So we always do like some music, or we do a video, or we'll do some listening activities. So I really think the kids get an overall, experience of learning in different ways. Weaknesses, I have the hardest time with names. I always will forget names for students, and it's so embarrassing. Did I ever teach anything other than Spanish? Yes. I can officially teach English. So a couple years ago I got to do that. And so, yeah, English is something else that I can teach. What do I do outside of teaching Spanish? I love music and I love singing. So I do help out with American Pie here in the spring. It's always fun to, see those kids sing the songs, the old rock and roll songs, and I get to sing as well. And then I also sing at church. I do a little opera now and then. I was trained in college for that, but not as much anymore. What's my favorite part about opera? Well, singing loud and high, because it's so exciting to hear those loud, high notes. What do I like the most? Just the passion that they sing with when you go to see an opera. They're just really passionate in their singing. What do I dislike? Some of the makeup is always a little bit too much when you go to see a production. It's a little overwhelming, yeah.